Hello and welcome to another episode of Honest to a Malt with myself, Duncan Donuts. Fresh for 2025 and two puds. And collectively, we've probably eaten and drunken too much over Christmas. Somehow, miraculously, Mike's wrists have got smaller.
My watch is falling off me, but my jeans are not.
Painted on.
Maybe, I don't know how it works. Maybe pressure in the waist somehow has made the rest of my body have to sort of reproportion itself. And my wrists have
just
got dainty.
Don't bend over. I can imagine
bend over.
Well, if you've
got X-rated early, Duncan.
If your jeans are tight, I can imagine you walking down the street and one of the locals going, "Oi, thin wrists."
Yeah, thin wrists. Pull your jeans up, man.
Question is, do you have those new trendy jeans which aren't skinny fit? They're just like sort of baggy the whole way down with no shape that you're supposed to wear?
No, I've gone for some old Wranglers, like kind of straight cut.
Timeless, basically.
Yeah, hybrid from what was fashionable to what
Oh my
is
God, those were the
now.
ones that had the sort of bend in the cut. Is that what you're talking about?
No, that was Levi Twists.
Twists.
Do you remember?
Yeah, not the same. Okay,
I had a pair of them not long back, actually.
They were really cool at one point. That's what I remember. Were. Never owned a pair because I was never cool.
96 or 97, I'm going to say.
Well, who am I to dispute that? It feels like it was probably around the late 90s.
Yeah.
If you know, write into us on honesttomail@protonmail.com. So what's the name of the episode today?
We are episode 82, and it's What Year Were Levi's? Episode 82, and it is JanuMerry.
Yes, something you invented last year or stole from somebody.
I mean, I'd like to say I invented it, but it is entirely possible that other people had the same idea. I'm not going to say who had it first.
You've forgotten the source of JanuMerry.
Yeah.
It's still clever though, isn't it? Basically, it's January, but a merry version of January.
Yeah. Instead of dry January, this is a drinking January, essentially.
Lubricated.
So, yes, a little post every day showing what I'm drinking, because if you're going to go dry, you may as well do it in February. It's shorter.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I find it easier to do a dry month if I'm going to have a whole month off a different month of the year rather than January. January straight after Christmas. You're still in the spirit of things, for one. And then on top of that, it's a dark, damp, cold month.
Right, I'm still 90% cheese, and it's snowing outside at the moment. So that's kind of where we are.
If you get peckish, can you just slice a little bit off your left knee?
Yeah.
Just eat that.
Just eat the gout from between my toes.
If you were a cheese, what kind of cheese do you think you'd be?
Strong Welsh cheddar.
Of course you'd be Welsh.
Standard.
Or do you think you would have lost your flavour a little bit because you moved around so much in the...
No, just really old, crumbly, mature because I've fallen to pieces. Yeah.
Lovely bit of crumbly cheddar.
How about you? I reckon you'd be like fucking Wensleydale with cranberry or something wanky.
I don't really eat that. I'm not sure what I would be. I can only say what I like. I
don't really get on with that. Did you have that standard supermarket like cheese board? It's like cheddar, red Leicester, brie,
the little tiny squares,
white cheese.
Why do
with
people buy
cranberry.
it? Just get a proper wedge of cheese,
mate. Just
buy separate proper cheeses. I mean, I like a bit of Camber. I like a bit of Stilton. I think if I was going to be something that I always feel like is overlooked, I'd be Boursin. Is it Boursin? You know, the spreadable garlic cheese. Yeah. Goes on anything. There's nothing you can't put Boursin on and it won't get better. Anything.
It's just like a slightly posher Philadelphia.
Don't care. Whatever you think. Whatever you've got, you could put Boursin on it.
Boursin.
Boursin.
Duncan Boursin.
I'll get a donut and I'll spread Boursin on it.
That'd go well, mate.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Right. So, how were your holidays?
Super, super chilled. Like, we incorporated, I don't know if you do this, where 1 year you have to go to sort of one half of the family, then the next year you go to the other half.
Yeah, we used to do that, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of bucked the trend by adding a year to ourselves in there, so no family, other than obviously what we are creating as a new family. Super, super chilled, just like TV, food, more food, booze, and then just general baby illness, the same as always.
Basically, you had a sofa presents. So good Christmas, right?
Sofa.
So good. Did you get to any of the local boozers?
No, my boozer down the road from my house, which is clearly a front for drug dealing, wasn't open over Christmas or New Year's. And I saw the landlady buying wine in the supermarket. I'm like, that's not
That's a
correct.
bad sign.
That's a bad sign if you're
At least she's
buying
not
booze.
drinking her own supply.
Is there no supply? Is there no booze there? That's what I'm saying.
Is
What's
the wine
going on?
Is the wine so bad that she buys in that she won't drink it?
I'd like to drop the name, but then you're going to all know where I live.
But then, to be fair, she's buying supermarket wine, which already isn't that good either. I mean, I've become a wine snob recently.
Have you?
Yeah, I started going. I mean, I like good wine, but I just have avoided really getting into it. So occasionally I flirt and have a good bottle of something, whatever it is, if I see a good deal. But before Christmas, I went out with Alex on like a pre, the Friday before Christmas.
Yeah.
Met, I went into centre of town, had a few meetings, and then I went and met him at the Nightingale, a local pub, anyway. And then we had a few Guinness, and then after that we went and ended up at a wine bar. And what I love about this, he had 2 bottles of Redbreast Quattro Brillas with me. And then the owner of the wine bar, which is where I might be starting a whiskey club soon, because he said he's up for it. And we were drinking these lovely Pinot Noirs, and I ended up buying a couple to take home. I opened up a bottle of Redbreast Quattro Brillas, just like I did that night out, that time in Central. 2 days later, I checked it. We had half a bottle between 4 of us, on top of all the wine and all the other stuff. So I had a couple of big nights over Christmas. That was one of them. It was good fun. When you go out on the tiles and you just light up,
I don't think, apart from blind drams, I was pissed over Christmas.
You just drink yourself sober?
No, not even. Just like, wasn't that keen on getting pissed, if you know what I mean. It was like first grown-up Christmas I've had probably ever, weirdly. Because I was like, well, someone's got to not be too fucking...
Got to change the nappies.
Yeah. And what if you have to drive somewhere suddenly? You can't be over the limit. So it was like, trying to work out how many units my body's burning off.
In case you need to try, you were working off the presumption of an emergency at any time. Always.
Duncan, be prepared, mate. You never know when the Chinese are coming.
You never know when you wake up and the zombie apocalypse has already happened.
It's when your phone starts trying to murder you.
Yeah.
All this technology. It's there, mate. It's there.
Well, the Chinese are definitely listening, that's for sure. We know that. We had that confirmed. All right. So in today's episode, we're going to do usual, plus we're going to recap our favourite moments of 2024 and our favourite bottles of 2024 and some of the bargains that we managed to hunt out as well. So what's been in your glass and what's been up your arse?
What's been in my glass is an awful lot of stuff.
It's going to be. That's what I thought. This 3-4 weeks. It's going to be difficult to recap, but we just have to go with the highlights.
We did blind drams. We've done Christmas drams. I've drunk a lot. Not that I like pushing it because I like Woodrow's, but I've been drinking a lot of Signatory Macallan.
Yes,
it's like
because it's good.
Yeah, I mean it's all right. It's decent. It's nice. I've been drinking low ABV whiskies. And it's amazing how more Copus Mentis you are. Well, I say it's amazing. It's quite clearly more with it. You can drink more at 40% than you can with a cask strength.
I feel like, so I'm going to get this in early. I feel like one of my New Year's resolutions is to have a couple more low ABV whiskies in the cupboard. Sometimes I open up the cupboard and I'm like, 55%, 61%, 57%. I'm like, where's the 43, 46% stuff gone? And it's usually because I had a bottle and I drank it.
Yeah. And do you know what I've reached for? Just my Lefroy 10, which I haven't got into for ages. Bog standard 40%er. That's going in the house. It's being moved indoors.
On full circle. You start with supermarket whiskies and then you go work your way up to cask strength single casks.
Yeah.
And then you go back to like core range 43, 46%ers and settle there.
A driver's dram, if you were.
Yeah. Which only have, if you have one and just one 25 mil, Paul, you'll probably be okay. Yeah. So you've been taking it easy. What else has been in your glass? And it's a bit of Signatory vintage Macallan 100.
Signatory vintage Macallan. I have been drinking. What's been in my cupboard? Oh mate, I've been doing bottle kills. going through doing the Michael Henry, trying to get through things that are gone, and I have killed loads, like absolutely loads. I can't even think of what I've gone. I think I've got through 3 Kilomans, just end of bottles. Port Charlotte, I've got a tiny bit left in a Port Charlotte over there. Right. I've got Eagle Rare 10, which I'm just like down to my last
just
one.
Get that finished.
I need to get another one in before I finish it. It's not a mental thing. I need to now have one at all times. Yeah. And just started digging at the back of the cabinet for stuff. But that's where I pulled my Jim Beam Black Double Aged 8, just an older 1 litre bottle in 43%, which is what I'm drinking at the moment, just to ease into a bit of booze this evening. Yeah, it's been quite an eclectic mix of drinks. Loads of like wine, port, champers.
Oh my days, we had that Graham's Vintage 2000.
Oh, the one you bought from when you got your Springbank.
Yeah, the Springbank 12 car strength. Yeah, I had that over Christmas. Mostly I drank it. But I left it out for everybody. But the thing is, what I say with port is, if you open it up and say, hey, everyone's welcome to drink this. Now, if you don't drink as fast as me, that's your own problem, because I will get through it. So a few other people might have got a snifter of it, but it was there, it was open, it was being shared. Now, the fact that I drank most of it just means that I drank most quickly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. If you open the port up at 10:30, right, and it's gone by 3, it was open. You had a chance.
Yeah. I managed to get back to Wales for like 2 days, just to quickly present exchange and head back. I sampled up a load of the Master of Malt's Black Friday bottling.
Oh, yeah. I haven't opened it
just to give to the boys, and then forgot to give it to them. So I just left like 8 samples at my parents' house. So my mum was working her way through those. Yeah, she was having it with ginger ale and like crack on. And then
yeah, nice.
So try the Ardnahoe Society bottling. She was like, yeah, that's all right. It's a bit smoky. I was like, yeah. So when I come back, they will not be there.
No, they'll be gone.
Yeah.
Oh, but you touched on something. One of my favourite things in the run-up to Christmas was indeed putting together samples to give out to friends. So I met some of the lads from school in Bury St Edmunds.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. And we met on the 27th. We went out. We had a few. Now, one of them had organised to go to do crazy golf there. And this is never previously there in Bury St Edmunds. We all thought it was going to be absolute garbage. Turned out it was incredible, Mike.
Crazy golf.
Some of the cleverest holes I've ever played in crazy golf. They had one that you had to hit it up through the spinning wheel of an exercise bike, and then it went onto like a travelator.
Oh, nice.
And like carried it on. And they had another one where you hit up and went onto a pool table. You had to switch from a golf club to a pool cue.
Mate, this sounds like you were doing workouts while drinking.
Honestly, it was really good. I'll put the link in the episode title. I think it's called like Leaky Links or something like that. Anyway, it's in the centre of Bury St Edmunds. There's only one in Bury St Edmunds. So if you search Crazy Golf Bury St Edmunds, you'll probably find it. If you're close to Bury, £9, give that place a shout. So, but I took all the lads' samples of whiskey. They got used to it now. They're like, oh, yeah, thanks. It's the sample I expected. Expected? They didn't say that.
Yeah.
They do it with the eyes. But it's fun, isn't it? Picking out a whiskey for people to try or get any reaction. So
yeah, I just grabbed the first one that I came to.
Yeah, that's the difference. I'm there like really overthinking about it. Right. Oh, what would suit this person? What would suit that person?
I don't know if you can see behind me. I've got a lineup of some peat. I'm going to do a peated online tasting with some of the boys from back home.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to send them samples and then just talk through it, guide them through.
Yeah. Can you put in on your David Attenborough voice?
This is a Lafroig.
Please recycle the plastic.
Throw it out. Don't care. Burn it. Fuck the dolphins.
Think of the dolphins. So yeah, did samples. So is there anything else that's been in your glass over Christmas then?
Ports, sherry, standard Christmas fare.
Did you pick any did you pick any special Christmas bottles though? Like for example, I took the Somerton English whiskey Oloroso cask pick for 46%, perfect for Christmas. Yeah. And I took Glen Scotia seasonal release, that Amontillado to finish.
No, because it was just me, Lara, and the baby.
Oh, of course. We had more people to share with.
I think the only thing I sort of got into and have put the lid back on it is a Master of Malt 35-year-old North British.
Right.
Which was cheap. I think I had one of those vouchers for 20 quid off, and it was like a 70 quid bottle with something else. I paid nothing for it, basically. Yeah. It was like 40 quid for a 35-year-old grain. I was like, well, it's worth a punt. Yeah. It's not. It was not.
At least you're honest. Some things are always a bit of a disappointment, aren't they?
Yeah,
So.
it might get better. You never know. I like North British, so I was big hopes, but yeah. How about you?
Well,
what was your Christmas special?
I mentioned a couple of things. So basically, I took 3 bottles back with me, and that included the 2 I've already mentioned, and this JanuMerry private cask collection. Cask filled in 1995, bottled 2016, 54.6%, 20-year-old cherry cask for £85.
Huh?
Yeah, they did it was phone only. So I called up and I thought this was because I was like, I can't pass this up. You know it's going to be good. It's like it's basically nutty and Christmas mixy, you know, like Christmas cake mixy. And there's not a lot more to it like that, but it's rich, it's decadent, it's very nice, it's very good value.
Yeah.
But what I loved about it most was I called up and said, don't deliver it until after Christmas because I'm not going to be there. And 2, well, just the last thing I need is more whiskey turning up.
Yeah.
And then they sent it anyway. Fair enough. I mean, look, they've got a lot of things to think about. I was like, don't sweat it. I was like, I'll just pay for it. Just send it in the new year. But obviously it wasn't strict enough on that. I must have been too chilled about it, right? So they put it into, you know, the delivery guys and I just embraced it. I just went, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to man up, puff my chest out. I'm going to change the delivery address. I'm going to have it delivered to the house I'm going to. Yes. I want to be there. I want them to see, then they're going to know it's whiskey. And I got this, it's just for you. I'm like, yeah, it's whiskey. I haven't got enough. So I've ordered some more to be delivered here. Said it with a straight face. Opened the box, cracked it immediately, went, yeah, you can try that if you want to.
He's got a problem. He's got a problem.
I loved it. That's my new Christmas thing. If I do go out over somebody's at Christmas, is get deliveries to their house of booze.
That's so much easier.
Yeah, you haven't got to take it in the car or remember it or whatever. I only wish I'd had more things delivered. You know,
you should have just gone on to like Amazon, like 7 pairs of pants and socks, just basic t-shirts and a new pair of jeans. So you just turn up with nothing. Like you've got nothing with you. It's all arriving tomorrow.
Yeah,
make sure you're in.
Should have got some like roast potatoes that you just put in the oven delivered, just so they go, oh, hang on, we think we can't make roast potatoes. No, this is just in case.
Just in case that shit.
Just in case, yeah.
Yeah. How was your Christmas dinner?
I mean, pretty good. I mean, I didn't make it, didn't have to lift a finger. I was probably doing what you were doing, just chilling out. Other people did it. I did offer to help, but it was in their capable hands. I did the little things that were asked of me, you know, like lay the table, whatever it is, move this here to there, turn on the heating thing in the corner, that type of stuff.
You still like...
Well, for my Christmas dinner, though, I did have with it a sample from Callum and Kate, because Callum still writes and Kate obviously on the bottles as well, which was like, wasn't the Glen Scotia, it was something else. I'll have to check. It was like a sausage sizzling. It tasted of sizzling sausages, basically. It was an SMWS bottle that tasted of sizzling sausages. And I thought that would go perfect with lamb roast. Because that's what we had. And we had some sort of, the usual stuffing. No turkey, just lamb. I didn't make the decision.
Controversial.
Mate, I put Cholula sauce on my Christmas dinner this year.
Wow.
Just Cholula'd it up.
How London of you.
There's just me with my bottle of whiskey that I've ordered to be delivered to the house with my Cholula sauce that I carried everywhere. Eggs and salmon, Cholula sauce.
Dumping Mexican hot sauce. And
lamb
everything.
Christmas dinner, Cholula sauce.
Mate.
I was just in a hot sauce mood. I've been putting hot sauce on everything for like 3 weeks. So nothing's been... I still had gravy.
Mate, I have eaten more smoked salmon in the last 3 weeks than I have ever thought humanly possible. Because Christmas Day, in the morning, I always have smoked salmon, scrambled eggs, and a glass of champagne. Little Christmas Day tradition.
When I meet people and they say, tell me about Mike, I say he's one of the classiest people you meet.
Till he opens
so
his
classy.
Yeah, get a fucking salmon on your fucking cat. Yeah. Swearing like a trooper, drinking champagne and
eating smoked salmon.
But then Christmas passed, and then you go to the shops and everything Christmas related was half price.
Including the salmon.
Smoked salmon. And it had a long date on it. And I'm like, fuck's sake. So I had to buy loads. I got a gammon still in the fridge. Got to cook that in the next couple of days. Pigs in blankets. I've had pigs in blankets every day since, I'd say the 23rd of December.
I feel like
it's the 4th of Jan.
The salmon the salmon and the pigs in blankets have probably balanced themselves out, because if you just had salmon every day, you'd probably get more intelligent than you, I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, guys, bring it down with the pigs in blankets.
Pigs and blankets, yeah.
Just good to keep your gut guessing, like what fucking car crash is coming down next. What am I going to have to deal with now? Mate, I've eaten 2 whole panettones to myself as well in the last 2 weeks.
Panettones or panettone?
Panettones, not fucking Italian.
Panettone?
Yeah, it wouldn't be like that bad, but they were fucking big ones. Like I have.
How big? Mike's doing with his hands, and he's indicating the size of a plate, a dinner plate.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's a lot.
Proper big.
That's a lot of panettone.
Yeah. And so I've got another one in the house.
Goodness me. Sounds like you've really...
Cointreau filling, like a sauce in an chocolate orange top.
Oh, that actually sounds pretty good.
Mate, it's amazing.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Panettone could be my new weakness.
Crack into that. Hey, I forgot to say, so I did take a few other whiskies over Christmas. So one, I did this flight of Glen Tockers.
Oh, yes.
And my takeaway from that was 2 from the 1970s, 2 from the 90s, or something like that, and 1 from some other time, probably fairly recent. And I think that the 90s stuff was much better than the 70s stuff.
Really?
That's my view. And I've tried other ones as well. They ranged in, they were some of them were like 20, 27, 28 years old, all that type of stuff. There was more flavour, more depth in the 90s ones that were sort of 20-ish years old than the 70s ones. I don't know. Like that's
good tasting though.
Yeah, of course. It was super interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, the one thing was they all tasted like Tockers. They all had that kind of like honey, slightly waxy note running through them as well. Not as waxy as a Klein Leash, but they have you. That's what I like about it when you do a flight of whiskies.
Candles
over a couple of days. Yeah, candles. Yeah, like the candles down your chin. If you do a flight, you have to do them all on the same day.
Yeah,
but if you do them over a few days. You really do get the sense of the distillery character running through, especially if they go through different decades. I always think that's pretty cool. So I did that. I also tried a few of the Bimbers. I haven't tried them all yet. The Shoulders of Giants ones. And I think my favourite so far is probably the Winston Churchill. I've tried Churchill, Einstein, and something else like Tawny Port. It's so hard to get that in and fit that in around other, if everyone's having a glass of wine, do you want to just be the guy just sitting there going, I'm just drinking my whiskey in the corner, leave me alone?
I would, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, I mean, I feel like I did okay. I got some runs in ahead of just to try to limit the damage. And I have to say props to the family because one of them made giant homemade mince pies and somebody else made a massive Christmas cake from scratch.
I saw those mince pies.
Those mince pies were really good.
Mega.
Like massive deep fill homemade mince pies. So shout out Richard, shout out Angela. Not they listened to it, but just in case they ever did. Your mince pies were fantastic. Your Christmas cake was on point, but all your cakes are on point.
He said your Christmas cake was shit, but it was all about the mince pies.
Honestly, she's a whiz. We're always trying to convince her to go on the Bake Off.
I was going to say Big Brother for a second. I don't know why. She's a really good baker. Trying to get her on Big Brother.
Trying to get her on Big Brother, yeah. She always tried to get her on the Bake Off, but she doesn't want to go on it. She says something that she wouldn't be very good at the bread rounds, but she's such a good maker of cakes. Cake maker.
It's just fucking cakes without sugar, isn't it?
I don't know. That's what I say if she says otherwise.
Let me just have a little pause for this Jim Beam bottle pop, cork pop.
You've got a screw loose.
Hey.
Ah, dear me. So what's been up your arse then?
What has been up my arse? Not a great deal. It's been a very positive Christmas experience. Going back to Wales was a bit fucking of a ball ache because it was supposed to be me, Lara and Isla, but Isla was ill. A little A&E trip yet again.
Oh, no.
Super high temperature. So, yeah, it was like, right, she's not travelling. So I had to go in the car and face the family on my own.
You went on your own, on your Todd?
Yeah.
Right. At least you got to listen to like your own music or whatever on the way in the car.
Yeah. But to be fair, it was a good drive. Really, actually, like you say, you could escape the house for a run or a dog walk. I managed to get 3-4 hours on my own, music blasting, singing, just chilled. Like I took Bali, so yeah, literally.
I love a sing in the car. Like
I do.
If you don't have a sing in the car, you're missing out, I think, in life.
I think if you're not singing in the car, you're weird. I do sing annoyingly amounts in the car. Like people fucking like, do you ever shut up? I'm like, no. Every song, if I know it, I'm singing, even if the words are wrong. I'm like,
just spell it out.
Yeah, in Welsh. So yeah, that was not up my arse, but it was going solo when you're like, you haven't got the family to back you up, and you haven't got, like, the plan was so because they thought we fully cancelled. I didn't tell my parents.
Fully cancelled, not cancelled. Fully cancelled. Yeah, fully cancelled.
Pulled into the drive. My mum's like, what? Comes running out of the house, like straight to the back door looking for Isla, and it's just fucking empty. And it's just me and Barney. You got to see
the crushed disappointment on her face.
And she was like, is it just you two? Like, you and the dog? It's like, yeah. Oh.
Did you go, yeah, we've broken up. I'm so sorry, Mum.
No, but I should have.
You should
have. That
have
would have been hilarious.
You're not quick enough. You should have gone, Mum, let's just get inside. I'll tell you about it. I need a drink. And that would have been enough to convince her. And then that walk to the house. And when she gets in and she puts the kettle on, you go, just put it on.
Mate, honestly, from getting them in the house, you say put the kettle on, it was every 10 minutes. Do you want a cup of tea? Cup of tea. I'm like, don't drink that much tea, Mum. I'll have coffee. Instant? No, I'm all right. I'll have water.
She's like, it's Doug Egberts, though.
Yeah,
it's good instinct.
Yeah, Dougie Egberts.
It's Doug.
And so she'd also bought a load of Christmas food, which she kept telling me that she'd ordered loads thinking we were coming back, and then cancelled all this like party food because we weren't coming back. But some of it turned up anyway. So every time she went to the fridge or got up, she was like, do you want a little pasty? Little mini pasty? I went, no, I'm all right. Scotch egg. Do you want Scotch egg?
I bloody love Scotch eggs.
I love Scotch eggs. Yeah, but they were like the rubbish little ones.
Do you feel like when they call it party food, they're kind of
cheap?
It's not that. It's like most people don't have it at a party. No. It's just tiny, high in salt snack food. Yeah. Isn't it?
I mean, that's the best bit about it. The salt levels, back old school food. Yeah.
If you've got Scotch eggs, especially the giant ones, hot sauce, now we're talking.
Have you tried what they call dragon eggs? A certain places sell them, and it's a Scotch egg with a super spiced sausage meat.
No, that sounds amazing, though.
It is, they'll proper like burn your mouth, but lovely. So have a little Google for dragon eggs, and you can get them in Tesco's and things. I think they're Welsh. So no, Scotch eggs, mate. Every time I blinked, I was being offered a cup of tea, a mini pasty, or a mini Scotch egg.
So that's what was on your arse, really. Your mum was just being a bit like overbearing.
Standard. How about you? What's fucking tickled that little over Christmas?
Oh, a few things. One, I weighed myself. I'm too heavy, so I'm now on sort of calorie. I'm sort of calorie counting. Not having booze. I'm literally having a drink now. I'm just not snacking over the top, and I'm being a little bit more rigorous on exercise. Second thing that's been annoying me is the quality of water in London. I had to buy, partially I say thanks to Bear Grylls, but I had to buy...
Not that fucking scam water too thing.
It works.
No, it does.
It does work. It works. I swear it works. The water tastes so much better now. It doesn't taste of anything, which is how it's supposed to taste.
I'm gonna say I've researched this fully because I was gonna get one, and then I've actually looked into it, and there's like a complete different world of geekiness, the same as we are into whiskey, around water filter and stuff. And I'm like, whatever you spent on it, you could spend 10 times on a water filtration thing for your house. But there's some really good ones that actually completely sort out your water. I'll send you some stuff.
Yeah, well, let's have a pod debrief about that. Let's have a breakout session on the water.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's about 100 quid-ish, and we were spending a lot of money on Brita filters, right? And the thing that most annoys me is just having two plastic things out at all times that you have to put water in. And so I was like, anything that's going to stop this, even if it doesn't taste any different, if it at least gets rid of, because the water in London's so bad. If I didn't live in London, I wouldn't be buying one of these things, but we do. And we've got kids, and you don't really want the kids to be drinking bad quality of water. And so, look, if this thing really is a complete lie, I think it like first off, my wife's dad got one where he lives, and I tried the water there, and I was like, oh my God. For a start, his water was always cloudy, right? Yeah. And so now it's like, it was crystal clear and didn't taste of anything. And I was like, great, got it here. Water tastes better. It doesn't taste of anything. Water's not supposed to taste of anything. It's just supposed to be refreshing, right? You're supposed to go, So it annoys me that I had to buy anything and that I yet still pay for water, because I remember living in other countries where your water was crap. You can't drink it out of the taps.
Yeah.
You don't pay anything for it. Here you pay a fortune. You can't even drink the water without being unsafe. Anyway.
And it's full of shit.
That's what I'm saying. Over Christmas, all of us, because everyone went to the family house.
Yeah.
Usually I'll just, if we're a bit cramped in or whatever, I'll just go and sleep in a different room. Because everyone was there, there was nowhere to... I had to sleep on a Z bed, right? Because we got baby, and then we got Eva, and oh, my days. So we got all of us, plus the dog snoring. I'm on a Z bed. I'm sleeping next to the dog on the floor, basically, on this like Z bed, because we're all in the same room. We tried sleeping in the same bed, and I didn't get any sleep. And then I had to call in like an emerge. I got out those big phones that get in the war zone, like the. Yeah, I called in the emergency Z bed.
Dial it up to get it going.
Yeah, dialed up the phone. Chinook's coming overhead. Everyone's going, why is there a Chinook overhead? I'm like, it's dropping off the Z bed for me. So anyway, I'm on the Z bed. I'm like literally a foot away from where the dog sleeps. Where Leo's sleeps. And Leo's like,
why are you down here?
Why are you down here? And I'm like, don't even think about getting on this bed. It's tiny already. And it had that frame. I kept catching the frame. Oh. So, but more than that, more than anything else over Christmas, because I could name other things, we came back recently, and a couple of friends came over and they said, we should watch the new series of The Traitors. I was like, yeah, go on then. I quite enjoyed the series before. They're all so thick. The same thing happens every single time. They all vote off each other, and I just find it incredibly frustrating. So I kind of watching it, but I just. Do
you know what the weirdest thing about those contestants is? They've all got Bear Grylls water filters.
Yeah. That's the price for winning it. You get a £99 water filter and a spare 70, the whole fiction fitting, and then you get a £70 filter.
It is fucking annoying. They're all just fucking idiots.
I don't know, but we're watching it anyway, and at least we're watching it sort of together, and we all sort of, but they do the same thing. I can articulate it a bit better. Basically, what they do is they'll accuse somebody and they'll kick off. That means they're almost like they're much more likely to be guilty then, and yet they'll be like, well, that person's being suspiciously, quiet. Right?
Yeah, that's doing nothing. It's all just getting on with stuff.
I get the wrong way around. They'll accuse somebody and they'll kick off, which is usually a sign that you haven't done anything. And then there'll be someone who's really calm and they're like, oh no, it's not me. I'm 100% faithful. Like, the person that's calm is the person that's definitely a traitor, right? They're definitely the traitor. The person that's going mental is because they can't believe they're getting accused for something when they're not that.
Right. You, right now, or in this next week, need to publish who you think the traitors are and things, and I want to see how correct or incorrect
but we know because they tell you on the show.
Oh, is it? Or it's not like hidden?
Yeah. But Maria did get me a book over Christmas, which is like, do you remember those old books where you can like, you read it and you have to make guesses as you go along? They're like game books.
Yeah.
Yeah, she bought me a traitors version of that so I can play it. I think that's kind of cool. So
you used to have a Sonic the Hedgehog one.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Same kind of thing.
I have got a good Britta story. You mentioned Britta. So just really quick, when Lara was like, we got a big cube Brita thing, like a massive one in the fridge, stores like 4 litres of cold water, whatever. And she's filled it up and she's come down and is like, it's not working. We're going to have to get a new one. It's just not working. It's not draining through. And I was like, well, it's a new filter. Was it empty? She's like, yeah, it's empty. I went, yeah, you just got to knock the air bubbles out of it. So she knocks the air bubbles out of it, working again. She was like, oh, brilliant. I thought we were going to have to buy a new one then. I was like, no, crisis averted. Fuck me, 30 quid. The next day is empty again. She comes to get out the fridge all happy. Just had a weird moment, like a fucking Chandler moment, and just flipped this thing in the air from nowhere.
Just pouring the
and just
water
shattered it.
Oh, no,
and I'm like, brilliant. So we are going to have to buy a new one. And then she was like, oh, sorry, I got an old jug somewhere. So she pulls this one out the cupboard and then fills it up with water, puts it in the fridge. And about an hour later, I was like, have you changed the filter on that one? She's like, no. I was like, did you take the brand new filter out of the one you just smashed? No. It's in the bin, covered in like baby food. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, but she's tired because
I'm tired.
I just said that to whine you.
I'm tired and now I got shit water. I come into your house to get some Bear Grylls. Fucking.
You should come over. We'll talk about deep. So, back on the whiskey. I'm having a lovely swig of JanuMerry, this private cask, Oloroso. So many thanks to the whole team for putting that out. Emma, Ian, and the rest of them over in that direction. Let's get into the crux of it then. First off, have you made any New Year's resolutions in 2025, nope. Especially whiskey-related ones?
No.
You're not even... What do you think about your buying habits? Do you think you're going to buy more or less this year?
Same.
What's that?
Yeah.
We won't say
no variation.
Yeah.
Don't think... I've made space, so I've...
Paul Newkey had a great idea on Blue Sky. He suggested to get those like cupboard behind the cupboard. You know, when like you open up your cupboard and you've got like secret like areas behind in the cupboard. I think that's actually a really good idea if you've got the space. You know, just basically if you just bring all your cupboards forwards, then you can just stash whiskey at the back of them and nobody will ever know.
I mean, that side, shortly where there is a space, I am going to be building another
shelving.
Another shelving thing.
More space to fill. Love it.
Exactly. Well, like my beer machine's on the floor at the moment. That just looks pathetic. So it needs to go on a shelf.
Your little table, that little wooden table you got in the background. It's like, I always feel sorry for that little table. It's such a tiny little, you know, you could do with a bit more
space. You
could do with a bit more of a shelf going along that wall for stuff or a bench to sit on. You could put a seat.
But it's right next to the leather seat. So when you're on the seat, that's actually a really handy
It is
table.
handy. Just put your glass down. That's true.
Water, glass.
I've been there. So you're not going to change your whiskey habits in 2025. So let's looking back at 2024, we're going to do bargains of the year, moments of the year, and bottles of the year. Where would you like to start?
Bargains is an easy one. Probably covered that in the last episode. All the auction buys at the moment. Oh. There's been so many to mention now. I think I covered off all my last purchases, apart from the fucking Sir David.
Are you currently looking at Scotch Whisky Auctions and Whisky Auctioneer, which are both currently on?
No.
Because you've bought too much?
I've bought 9 bottles, I think, in the last month.
That's quite a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. That is a lot.
No more for January. Yeah.
I'm looking at Whisky Auctioneer, and there does seem to be some quite cheap ones at the moment, so I'm just going to keep my eye on it. But there's been crazy offers going on. So some of the deals I noticed over the last year, one of them was the Berry Brothers of Rudd. It was Bert Smedley that brought my attention to this one. It was a Berry Brothers of Rudd 12-year-old their sherry blended, whatever it is, or Speyside. It's probably a single malt actually.
Yeah,
I can't even remember. It tasted really good, but they did it for 24 quid. You know, when it should usually be about 45 quid. And that's such a great price point for sort of a 12-year-old sherry tasty whiskey. So there's that one. I think it's like 45 point something percent. It's about 45, 46%. There was that. There was the crazy deals on the lager. There was the lager tequila cask. There was also earlier in the year the Fischl lager from Whiskey Exchange, I think.
The distillers one we missed out on.
Yeah, there was distillers edition that went like mega cheap, like 25, 30 quid or something.
Dam Busters, ridiculous sale this year.
Yeah, there was absolutely. Yeah, so there's been some wild sales and discounting during the year. And I think the thing to sort of take away from this is, well, not to mention that, what about all the Signatory vintage bottles? Yeah, like 45 quid, sometimes Master and Malt with all the discounts and stuff. If you've got Prime, you're getting them for sort of £39.
And they're all, I wouldn't say
the 100 proof
amazing.
Range. Depends on the
bottle.
There's
anything that's gone, fuck me, that is out of this world, I need everything. But there's been nothing bad.
But I think more than ever, especially with how much whiskey a lot of people have stashed, I'm just going to be quite sort of picky going into this year. So I was looking at it, and there's a whole bunch of bottles I want to open up. I've got 25 open. I just got like a queuing system now for the next bottle that's coming open. And I think, like you said earlier, if anything, I'm hankering more to buying a few low ABV bottles because I've got so much cask strength stuff.
Yeah, I want to try and maybe do a bit more core range things from people. I feel like I'm neglecting
too much
core
IB,
ranges
too much independent bottle.
Yeah, a little bit.
I also think I'm getting a bit more into wine, right? So I might siphon some of my whiskey budget into wine.
Fair enough. To invest or to drink?
To drink. Like I've been drinking like expensive French Pinot Noir and stuff and loving it. Also, when you've got as much whiskey as we've got, you know, I could probably...
nice to have something different.
Yeah, kind of. Maybe it's because I was getting into port and I was drinking a bit more wine over Christmas, I think. And also, like, I like the local wine bar. They retailer as well, bar and retailer. Good guys.
It's like the local London wine. What the fuck?
So we'll see. But I think if anything, I'm going to keep my eyes on auctions and just going to have to be really picky as we go through the year. Now, what were your moments of 2024? We did have a fair few.
This is fucking easy. Do you know what the moment of 2024 was?
Go on.
The whole fucking year, the podcast. Genuinely.
Really?
If you think every good experience we've had, whiskey related, has generally been as a result of this. So, super easy answer, podcast. We started doing festivals and stuff now, little trips here and there. So,
yeah. Have to see what 2025 brings in, won't we?
Some fucking cash, hopefully.
Well, I've gone different to you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love doing the pod and stuff. But I've picked out. So, one, I was looking back. I was reflecting. Right. One, loved the whiskey milkshakes episode when we did that. Yep. Right. I just loved the wackiness of it. I really enjoyed making the milkshakes. I had a lot of fun doing that episode and like making them and like getting out all the going and finding all the ice cream and trying to work out what to pair with what. And then, you know, some people going, oh, I love that episode. And some people going, oh, what are you doing? Putting whiskey in milkshakes. You guys are nutters. Yeah. I like that. The Summons and Reviews bit was my feel-good moment of 2024 when I managed to help to get some more reviews, positive reviews in for Dan and the gang there.
That's it. And Dan's helped us by doing the same for the podcast.
yeah. Dan's done nothing for us really, but you know, he's a busy guy. So, you know, we're happy to help out. Still a member, Dan. He's got us on a link on his website somewhere. The Loch Lomond tour was a highlight. Class. And I know you said connected to the pod, but you know, I mean, look, would it have been better if Gary Mills hadn't been? Probably. Everything, the whole thing about it.
If we could have just had like a fucking audio book in our head and walk around, that might have been better.
The fact it was Gary, the fact there was the jokes, like the whole thing along, including
jacket theft.
The meal afterwards, Michael not even like just going, they've taken the jacket, we've taken the whole thing was amazing.
No question, have they taken the jacket?
They've taken the jacket. And then Gary sitting in the front seat wearing the jacket, looking down, going, oh, I didn't think these lapels were mine.
Yeah.
Badges or whatever. Whole thing was amazing. And incredible tour. I mean, I know it's not open to the public, but just close your eyes and imagine it from the episode when we described it. It's a banger.
It is a banger.
Getting that Snickers hamper. Do you remember that? You remember when I was super ill? And I was so ill. I had that E. coli thing. And
you just entered a random competition.
And I bought like a Snickers, and they just, having bought that Snickers online, they automatically entered me into a competition. I got a phone call, thought I was getting frauded. Turns out I won a giant Snickers hamper. We had enough Snickers for about 3 months, like all these different Snickers products.
Lasted 3 weeks.
Oh, well, probably 4 weeks, yeah. And the other one was just that wine and whiskey shop in London when I called up when I was really, again, unwell. So 2025 has got to be about better health. And they had a bottle of Springbank 12 cask strength left in. And I paid for it on the phone with the port, and they held it for me. And I went in when I felt a bit better and picked it up. And those are, along with the pod and all the great people we met during the year and all the nice feedback from people, they were probably the moments of 2024. I hope I haven't missed anything. You know. Yeah,
I should probably give a shout out to Ben for the Edinburgh trip again.
Yeah,
that was good for the rugby. Again, for the as a result of the pod to an extent.
Yeah, we had some great nights out, didn't we, with people, and some good events. So let's see what 2025 brings. So onto the meat and bones of it. This is the contentious bit. People keep asking us, what are your favourite whiskies of 2024? And I've seen a lot of people commenting on theirs now. So I feel like we kind of have to do ours. I'm not putting them in any order, to be clear.
I got my top 3.
And I've only put down ones where I've had more than half a bottle of the whiskey, right? If I haven't had half a bottle.
Bottle.
You've just got 3.
Got 3.
Oh, and you go with your 3 first then.
Easy. Well, I say easy. There was one that was sneaking in.
I feel like I could guess 2 of your 3. But
you can guess 2 of them straight away.
I'm not going to.
I'm not being quiet with what I think of it. Ardnahoe Society bottling, instantly whiskey of the year.
Quarter cask.
Number 1.
The sherry quarter cask.
Yeah.
But what?
Absolute number 1.
Why is it your whiskey of the year?
It was the only thing I can describe it as was a similar experience to when I tried the Inchmurin Chardonnay wine yeast, which is my favourite whiskey of all time.
Yeah.
It was like holy, every fibre in my body was like, I love this. I want more. And yeah, at a decent price to an extent. I know it's 80 quid, but it's young. It's like fucking good ABV on it. It is so tasty. It's doing a lot to not absolutely cane the 2 bottles I've got. I'm trying to be sensible with it and just hold back slightly because it's dangerously easy drinking for what is a high ABV whiskey.
Hang on. Before you go on from that, I just want to say it's still available, right?
Yep. I'll be buying more. Don't panic.
It's still
Don't
available.
panic, people.
What I liked about that one, because we had more of exposure to that one. So we tried that before it was released. We got really excited when we tried it. I mean, really excited. And then after that, I was panicking. I was like, maybe we just got too carried away because it was like sherry and the other ones were like more of a mix between bourbon and sherry, sometimes leaning more towards bourbon cask. Did we just get too carried away? And then we tried it again afterwards because we had another sample. Yeah. And then we got to try the actual release at an event and in Glasgow. And so I tried it 3 times before I bought a bottle.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I think that's a great choice, a great selection. Just something so right with that whiskey. Like
it seems to just be whatever the casks were used.
Oloroso and PX mixed.
Yeah, but I mean like those specific casks were just all seemed to be just perfectly timed. They all came together at the exact right moment that they were selecting it. Now there's probably Hunter Lang doing their thing and being decent.
Yeah, just know what they're doing.
Knowing more than us. But Jesus, so if that's what it's going to be like going forward, Ardnahoe is going to be a wild journey.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm wondering, I can only imagine it will get better as it gets towards the sort of 8 to sort of 12-year mark, where I think the spirit's obviously really good.
Drinking it is like going on a distillery tour. You can pick up all those different elements of like the different stages of production within that dram at the end of it, but it doesn't taste young. It just tastes perfect. It's all just come together really well.
So look, I'm glad we gave that one a bit more airtime because that is resoundingly your whiskey of the year, right? Now, to be clear, that's on my top sort of 10-ish to 15.
Yep.
I'm not going to call it as my whiskey of the year. I don't know if I'm going to call it whiskey of the year, but it's definitely something which I was really impressed by over the last 12 months. So what's your number 2 then, or your next one?
What we had in Glasgow, the James Eady Inch Darney peated, so the Fing Lassie.
Oh yeah,
7-year-old, stunning dram.
You're like monkey see. You're like whatever the last thing was you had. It's not true actually, but you're like when it's in recent memory, you're like, oh, it was so good. Like,
yeah,
I know you'll be like tomorrow. You go, oh my god, I completely forgot that amazing whiskey from February.
Well, that's the one that's sneaking in. So, yeah.
How many bottles of
that
Finn
Lossie
did you buy?
I have to send one to Hungary still.
That's it. To those boys.
Yeah. I contacted them and went, sorry, Christmas, forgot all about it. Not going to lie. Busy. Sick kid. I'll get it in the post.
I don't think they'll be the kind of people that are short on whiskey either. So I suspect they'll be able to wait.
So that was, mega, really good dram. And then what I've got in my glass at the moment.
Oh, it's
SMWS, salted cinnamon butter, Bunnahabhain, just 16 years old, 59.1%, unpeated Bunna. Beautiful. That was number 3. Super close for the Balmenics. Like SMWS have had so many good Balmenics this year. But that one was just tipping over. So that's my number 3 with the 2 Balmenics I've had from SMWS in 4th and 5th.
4th and 5th. What a top 5. I mean, I'm trying to open a sample here of this Meckel Tour, the Turbo 5-year-old peated. I can't open it.
That's how good it is. It's like just resealed itself.
Oh, it's because it's been put on.
Waiting.
John from Chingford's put the wrapping on with his strong hands.
I was going to say his hands are so strong. He's
so strong.
Nearly ripped the sellotape getting it closed.
If for him this wouldn't be a problem, he would have ripped this off already.
Yeah.
Probably just...
Just twist the glass and it just snaps off.
Yeah, it just take the top off,
How about you? Top 3. Well, not top 3, your 3 highly recommended whiskies.
Maybe you can help me to form it into a top 3. So for a start, I had the Ardnahoe Sherry Quartercast written down, said that already. So I've got written down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sort of 10, 11-ish, something like that. So,
fucking hell.
Yeah, all right, easy. I find it really hard to
a few moments later.
I find it really hard to be. That's my favourite because there's a few things to stand on. I think there's a few that you would have forgotten about here, which I'd be interested to get reaction. So start from the top. One of the whiskies in the early part of the year, which really impressed a lot of people, including myself, was the Glasgow Mandlinia, right?
Yeah, man, I didn't massively think it was great.
This is why it's a top 10, 15 and not a top 3, okay?
It's gone to 15 already.
No, what I'm saying is it's one of the whiskies that really stood out for me during the year because of it had really heavy tobacco notes and there was a lot of kind of sweetness. It was a bit unusual because it'd been, it had been an ex-Isla cask. I think we're allowed to say what the cask was. Dog's panning around the background. It's kicking off. Even though he's been out for miles of walking today, even though he's had pulled pork, ham, bacon and kibble, he can't just lie down for an hour and a half.
Because he needs a poo. That's why. Because you've filled him with meat.
Does not need a poo. I took him
he's
out.
Like a machine.
I took him out pre-pod.
Come on.
It's like one of those plasticine factory things. Like when you just squeeze the plasticine and it just goes, just coming out constantly. So that one. I've been a bit controversial here. So next one, my whiskey of the year is not a whiskey that was released last year, but a whiskey that I fell in love with during the course of the year was Ben Nevis, the older bottlings, the sort of 2012 to 2015. Yeah, I had a couple bottles and I've got another one in the cupboard. And I love the dirtiness of it, the oiliness. I love the fact you've got the sherry notes going on there, a bit of funk. I find it a really interesting whiskey. I prefer it to the cleaner, newer Ben Nevis that we also tried. Don't get me wrong, the new Ben Nevis is also nice, but it feels different to me. I prefer the older stuff. We talked a bit about that. One that really surprised me during the year, another one, the Glasgow Banditti rum. It's the last Glasgow mention. But as a person that doesn't really drink a lot of rum, I was blown away by how good that PX Banditti sort of 53-ish% was, how Moorish it was. And, we had some good times as well because we shared a bottle with a bunch of people too. It was a good laugh. Next one on the list, Loch Lomond Spanish Oak. That was another one where I just couldn't get over how silky it was with all that kind of fruity spirit and all that magic that Michel Henry does, Michael Henry does for Loch Lomond. And then putting that with the Spanish Oak. I mean, as good as I like all of the crazy yeast releases and everything else and the distillery editions, I really like that. I like the influence of Spanish Oak. So
that would have been in my top 10 easy.
Yeah, so that was in my top 10. It's in my top 10, right? And again, I think I had a bottle or a couple of bottles of it. And it just went so quickly. It's what we were talking about. I think it was about 50% ABV.
Yeah.
Just right on the limit of the sort of quaffable, right? Also in the top 10, working my way through, were definitely in my top 5. Or I don't know if I say I'm doing that. But my fate.
I reckon I can predict.
Let me go on then.
JanuMerry Peated Rocker.
That is on the list, but I wasn't going to say that then. Because that's good though. That JanuMerry Peated Rocker is in my mentions, definitely.
Yeah. Peated Barocca.
Peated Rioja. So Peated Rioja, you had it as well, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, you've got it, right? Tobacco, cherries. I actually tried a sample from Callum, which was like something I hadn't tried before, which also was a Rioja cask and had lots of cherry in it.
Did you like it?
I did. I loved it. It actually tasted like malty chocolate.
I'm telling you, Rioja's the one in whiskey, mate.
I think it is. I think Rioja wine casks might be the real deal.
If you look at the Leche as well.
Abhan Dig. It's ABHANN space DEARG. Made with barley grown on the Isle of Lewis. Cask strength.
Fair play.
58%. I guessed the ABV exactly correct. That's one of the first times I've guessed an ABV exactly correct ever. Callum was like, how did you get that right? 58%. Let's guess, Callum. It just felt late 50s, so I guessed a number. But that was really good. Whilst that's different to the Peated Rioja, there's a little bit of crossover with the kind of cherry notes. This one was more chocolatey. It really tasted like malty. You get a malty chocolate drink. It tasted like that.
When I went to Milroy's Christmas shopping, they were serving or pouring the Rioja JanuMerry to a couple of people.
Yeah.
And they absolutely loved it.
There you go.
Loved it. And I was like, I'm going to watch your face when you drink this because I'm interested. And it was exactly what I was.
Did you get right up in their faces? Did you get like
like
2 inches away from their face when they were trying to drink it?
You fucking love it, don't you? Yeah.
So is that...
what was the one you were going to say? Sorry,
well, the one I was going to say was, so my favourite signature vintage 100 proof of the year that I have 4 bottles of, I've drunk 2, shared with friends, so I've got 2 left, is the number 23 Highland Park Secret Orkney that inspired us to make me to make very quickly, they knocked it out of the Secret Orkney t-shirt. It has a funk to it. Actually, Bert explained that really well. So it has a kind of Campbelltown funk to it, but it's got all kind of Highland Park caramel and toffee notes. It starts like a Highland Park, goes a bit Campbelltown, and finishes like a Highland Park.
It's what Highland Park maybe should be fucking making.
I tell you what, if
Highland Park
selling,
they're obviously making it.
If Highland Park actually released that themselves, it would have probably been like 100 plus quid, and you're picking it up from £39 on Master and Malt after discount and Prime and all that kind of stuff. So also the Macallan, everyone talked about it. The fact that everyone was trying Macallan for sub £50, cask strength, 57.1%, 100% proof, obviously not cask strength because they've watered it down slightly to get it to 57.1%. Whatever it was, 13-year-old.
Each cask would vary anyway, so it has to be a
mixture of first fill and obviously second fill. It felt like it didn't feel like there was anything more refilling than that. The fact that everyone was trying it, the fact that, Macallan, whilst they give a lot of money to charity, charge a lot for their bottles, and it must have been slightly irritating for them to be seeing, not like a few, like thousands and thousands and thousands of bottles of this stuff just getting pumped out. And they've done 4 bottles of Macallan now, and they're at number 30. The last couple of bottles, Longrow 18, a recent one, sensational whiskey, so happy to get hold of a bottle. The famous Redbreast Quattro Brillet. Whilst it's a little sweet, and whilst I wouldn't technically put it in my whiskey of the year, for magical moments, how we got it, meeting Sav in London, and then we cracked it open and we were sharing it with random people.
Experience with it.
Exactly the same. Got 2 more bottles from Alex at the wine shop, cracked it open, shared another half a bottle. So that was the most shared with random people moments out and about, just living it up whiskey. And so I think that'll always have a special place. And then last 2, Salted Cinnamon Butter was in there. So props to you, great choice. And another one from me, from SMWS, was Raisin Toffee Jam, the best Glenlivet cask I've ever had. And I've had a whole bunch of them because I used to obsessively buy them on auction. And like people go chasing tornadoes. Yeah. Out there in a car, like driving through the storms. That's me with for a time, that was me with single cask Glenlivets. And then it became like an unhealthy obsession. Like I was buying too many of them, right?
Yeah.
And so calm that down.
Saw this one, stumbled into a fucking mega one.
And this is the best one I've ever had. And I think I said that when to Matt when he came on the podcast. I was like, sometimes it was full maturation.
Yep.
Sometimes SMWS really knocks it out of the park, right?
Easy one then.
Go on.
Master and Malt, Prime member, listening to this episode, you get to choose one of those bottles and you'll get it for free. Which one are you choosing?
Any one of these bottles?
Yep, only those bottles.
Well, if we're going to get it for free, price is coming into it as well, isn't it? So
no, don't worry about price. You're not paying for it. It's free.
It's free, yeah. I think at the moment I'm sort of leaning more towards non-peated, so that's going to influence my decision. So I'm going to rule out any of the peated stuff. So sadly, that rules out the Ardnahoe, the Glenmurray peated Rioja, a couple of other ones, even the Manzanilla. It rules out the Longrow 18 because it's lightly peated, or it's heavily peated, but it feels like a what do we say? The Brooklady Octomores.
Yeah.
It feels like an Octomore, but better. I'm going to go with one of the SMWS ones, either Salted Cinnamon Butter or Raisin Toffee Jam. And if you have to put a gun to my head, I'm going to go with Raisin Toffee Jam. If I could have that
there
again.
You go. That's your fucking whiskey of last year. There you go. Easy.
Raisin Toffee Jam.
Simple as that. Done.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Voila.
Great coaching. You, Mike, podcaster and coach.
Podcaster, life coach. And fucking
life coach.
and a unique ability to swear in every sentence.
I feel like I swear less because you swear more now. I feel like
Lara's been telling me off. She's like, Isla's now going to start picking up on words. Yeah. You need to stop swearing.
One of the great.
Like even today, I went, look how fucking happy she is. And she went, "You mean how happy she is?" I went, "No, she's fucking happy."
One of the greatest days you'll ever experience is the first swear word your child says. You'll be like, I coach that out of them because you're Coach Mike.
Yeah.
Coach Mike, right? Coach Mike Tupids. But So you'll coach it out of her.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody.
Just you doing the speech from what's that Al Pacino speech in Any Given Sunday?
It's a game of inches.
Yeah, you're doing a speech akin to that, right? If I ever get the chance to be a best man again, I think I'm just going to do a version of that speech.
It's the 6 inches in front of your face. Now I can't do it for you. I'm too old.
I think it would actually be better just to do the whole speech verbatim at the wedding like Al Pacino, and then don't say anything about the bride, don't say anything about the groom, nothing about your history.
Yeah.
Just that. And then just put the mic down and walk back to your seat. And everyone's just
if you had the guitar and you played the music yourself.
Played the music whilst you're doing it. And everyone's just going, this is great. There was nothing to do with the wedding at all. Have you... And then someone will say...
Stag do his quality, you shag the whore. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. Any given Sunday.
Who's got it better than us?
6 inches. So we are going on to the next pods in January, where I think we're probably going to have Cliff on.
I mean, it is January.
Dean Jode. Yeah, we're in January already, but I mean, the other next pods are coming out during January. So listen to this one. You're wondering what's coming next. We'll definitely be having Dean Jode on from Murray McDavid, talking about sandwiches and whiskey. And Cliff's going to come on and talk about dramathons because we had to move the one with Cliff.
Due to my child, yet again.
Yeah. You need to get your own private ambulance.
Mate.
So from the two of us, if you like the pod, starting the year, we very much appreciate. It's lovely to see the listening, the followers who subscribe to the podcast still going up. So if you listen to the pod and you're not subscribed, subscribe, much appreciated. Whilst you're there, whatever platform you listen to, if you really enjoy it, give us a 5-star review. We do this as a hobby, but your reviews warm our hearts, right?
Yes. And the more of you that like it means we might make some money out of this because this does take a lot of our time.
It does take a lot of time.
However,
but we do enjoy doing it, Mike. We do enjoy doing it.
Yes, it's a wonderful hobby to have. And yeah, we do thank you for listening. I hope everyone's had a wonderful Christmas, a decent New Year. And as always, if you want to contact us, reach out to us on social media. We're at Honest to a Malt. We're always happy to engage back with people. So if you want our recommendations on things, if you want to ask us questions about what you're drinking, if what we think, feel free to get in touch. But give us a follow, give us a 5-star review, and we will catch you on the next one. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.